that first episode, I think there's some important lessons we can learn to make us stronger people, to make us better equipped to have good relationships in our lives. So I just want to give you 5 tips that I took from that first episode. One is character isn't just who you are when you're on, but character is who you are even when the spotlight's not on you, so to speak. When you don't think that person that you're trying to impress is watching, your character is about who you are when nobody's watching. And it's just real important to always be striving to be your best, to be a good, honest, healthy person. Um, you don't want that other person to find out that you're really a compromised personality, that you got some significant issues, that you can't get along with people. You want to use those other situations to practice good relationship skills, stress management skills, communication skills, conflict resolution skills. Those are great places to practice with people that maybe aren't as important to you, but give you an opportunity to practice those skills, hone those skills, so that when you're with people that you really do care about and that you do want to impress, you're able to do well in those situations because you actually had time to practice and use those situations to practice some of those skills. And that significant other wants somebody who's reliable, trustworthy, and committed to them and values. And so they're going to see that as they see you interact with other people, because they want to know, well, how will they be around our kids? Or how will they be around my side of the family? Or about people that I bring over that are my friends or my coworkers. So they want to be able to see you function in a good way, to have character no matter what you do. The second point, stable people don't often have initial interactions that are over the top. So as we look at these initial introductions, we're looking for that wow, that mind-blowing, entrance, that interaction that's, wow, that's the words of wisdom. Well, most initial interactions with solid people aren't like that. Most solid people are pretty confident in who they are, pretty secure. They don't feel they really need to impress anybody. They feel comfortable putting out who they are, of being themselves. So they usually have a good sense of boundaries, that they don't have to be over the top, that they don't have to be somebody that they're not, that they don't have to intrude on your boundaries of whether space, physically, humor, be off color in their humor, be too sexual in that initial interaction. So a lot of times, the more stable people that you come in contact with might just sort of have average first impressions, but they have depth to them, and as you get to know them, and as you start to rely and trust, a commitment and a friendship can be significant. And if it's a significant other, then very powerful things can grow by just starting nice and slow and growing friendship. A third point is be yourself. And that initial interaction, especially with somebody that you think might be an important person in your life or your dating situation, be yourself. You want them to get to know you for who you are, not some facade, not some fake, not some phony. Because now you're always going to be wondering, whenever he finds out the real me, is he going to like me? You start to lose confidence in yourself. The more you feel the need to hide yourself, you start to lose confidence in who you are. You start to feel more ashamed, more insecure of your true colors and who you are on the inside. You're always nervous about, will they find out? Will they like me if they do find out? What's the reaction going to be when they find out? So be yourself. Always be yourself. You still want to certainly grow and improve and work on things, but don't try to be somebody fake just to impress somebody. They're going to find out who you are. And in the end, you really want them to love you for you, not love you for some pumped up facade that they think you are. The fourth key learning point is this idea of, we have 2 volume buttons, emotional volume and thinking volume. And they both can't be cranked at the same time. So if our emotional volume is high, that means our thinking volume is low. And so as we see in this episode and many episodes, we're going to see where either Sean or the ladies have their thinking volume or their emotional volume cranked under stress, adversity, love, whatever reason. They're not going to be able to think, so their judgment is going to be impaired. So as you're in situations in your life, try not to make decisions when your emotional volume is high. Soothe, calm. That's why we try to say we think before we react, instead of letting emotions dictate our decisions for us. We usually get into a lot of trouble when we let our emotions be our decision maker. So try to control that emotional volume. Lastly, number 5, I'm not a big fan of alcohol. I used to have an alcohol problem, in fact, to be honest with you. I'm a recovering alcoholic. But alcohol is just a terrible ingredient in a stressful or pressured situation. It brings emotions to the surface. So again, that emotional volume then starts to rise, and therefore we're not good thinkers and not good decision makers. It leads to a lot of impulsive activity. It disinhibits, so things we wouldn't normally do, we now do in front of people. It doesn't allow us to think and have good judgment. Now, in pressure situations or when we're trying to meet somebody or impress somebody, we want to be at our best, not be at our worst, not be in a compromised state, thinking-wise, emotionally, behaviorally. But that's what alcohol is going to do. And for some people, it's other substances as well. So whether it's caffeine, whether it's stimulants like Adderall, whether it's sedatives or tranquilizers, all those things are going to hide who the real you is and not let the person see the best you that you could be. It's going to interfere. It might allow you to feel a little less anxiety in the situation, but it's not going to allow you to be who you are, who God designed you to be, and who you can show this person that you are. So try to keep alcohol and any substances out of the picture when you're having some either pressure situation or you're meeting somebody for the first time and you want to make a good impression. So those are my 5 tips for the week. Thanks.